additional one pager. There was two passed out. The correct one, number three, should have item F on it. So that would be the correct one that we're going to go over of the single page.
This when you're talking about. What was the correct one again?
Number four should have a F. I mean, number three should have a F, bullet point F in it. Number three, yeah.
Last strikeout.
So it's number three that has the black strikeout. That makes it easier.
Yeah, this is the right one. This is the right one.
So just a short overview of what the budget language instructions are, especially for our new commissioners, Commissioner Wilson and Commissioner Peterson Mayberry, as well as our new budget director, Phil. These are reports that the commissioners are requesting of departments to send in throughout the year. These actually go into the appropriation ordinance to have the departments send various reports on various subjects throughout the year. This one main one would be like the 1-800 road crew. That's part of the budget instructions for that, for the department to submit those monthly to the commission. So that's
Also, it is the legislative intent. Sometimes we include the instructions as far as what our intention is for certain the intended for certain appropriations. So it's instructions on how you to pretty much understand what the intent of the legislative body was for that item.
And an example of that is that I believe veterans burial. I believe state law only requires maybe $300 be given, but we put in our instructions that we would like the veteran burial to be $1,000. So that's an example of what Commissioner Kenlock Chair was saying. So I'm going to pass this over to Mary Carr, Deputy Director, and she's going to go through the list.
Through the chair, Mary Carr, Deputy Director, Office of Fiscal Agency. I'm going to basically, the basic changes which are highlighted are dates and the fiscal years, and then the number sequence. And then if you go to page 5, where it says recommended language, we're going to skip that one because it's been revised, and we'll cover that on the next one. And then page 13, new language, number 47. The Department of Management and Budget shall take measures to review and determine any outstanding obligations due from the Airport Authority for the pre-2002 airport retirees. Please stop me if you have any questions.
Yeah. Say page.
Hang on a second. Want to pop open the old one? Yes. Yeah, it's page 13 on what I'm showing. So hold on. Did it change? The 920. No, hold on. Okay. Why don't you grab me the one off of Lisa, by Lisa? Sorry, commissioners, hold on, please. I sent this on to Sarah.
Oh, that's, yeah.
You're reading from the incorrect one.
No, the 20th is the one that they all have. Right? This is the wrong one. They had theirs dated the 20th, right? Okay.
Okay, so what's going on?
Okay, I see the confusion. We're gonna come back to what the one Mary's talking about is on this form here, the one pager. But she's looking off of her review sheet. And this is the one, that's where it will go on page 13. But she's going off of the one pager sheet number 47. It's gonna be added, but we sent this out Sunday, and after we sent it out, we added additional ones, and we didn't want to resend a whole nother packet out. So it's actually on this form.
Okay, sorry, commissioners. Okay, if we go to page 16 of your packet, number 57. Recommended new language. The Department of Personnel and Human Resources shall provide quarterly reports on the county staffing levels. The report should list the total number of employees by division and by employment classification, full-time, part-time, contract consultants, etc. The department shall report to the Committee on Government Operations by January 15th, 2026, April 15th, 2026, July 15th, 2026, and September 15th, 2026. The report needs to be formally submitted through SciQuest/TCM. Okay, page 20. New language number 10. The Office of the Sheriff shall provide a report on the status of recruiting efforts and police academy graduates. The report shall detail the outcome of such efforts as it relates to the police academy. The report shall be submitted to the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security no later than December 1st, 2025 and June 1st, 2026. The report needs to be formally submitted on elected official letterhead. Page 23. There are 3 new items for Health, Human, Veteran Services. Number 14, the Department of Health, Human, and Veteran Services shall provide a status report on the activities of the Vision to Learn initiative contract. The department shall report to the Committee on Health and Human Services no later than January 15th, 2026, April 15th, 2026, July 15th, 2026, and September 15th, 2026. The report needs to be submitted through SciQuest/TCM. Number 15, the Department of Health and Human Veteran Services shall provide a status report on the activities of the Eastern Market Fresh Trucks Program initiative contract. The department shall report to the Committee on Health and Human Services no later than January 15th, 2026, April 15th, 2026, July 15th, 2026, and September 15th, 2026. The report needs to be submitted through SciQuest/TCM. Item number 16. The Department of Health and Human Veteran Services shall provide a status report on the activities of the Empowerment Plan Coats for Hope Sleeping Bags Program initiative contract. The department shall report to the Committee on Health and Human Services no later than January 15th, 2026, April 15th, 2026, July 15th, 2026, and September 15th, 2026. The report needs to be submitted through SciQuest/TCM. Page 32, item 18. This is for economic development. The Economic Development Department shall provide a detailed report on the Community Development Block Grant, disaster recovery, and when the funds are spent. The department shall report to the Committee on Economic Development no later than February 1st, 2026 and August 1st, 2026. The report needs to be submitted through SideQuest/TCM. Any questions? Page 41, this is the tax levy. These numbers are currently fluid until all the tech amendments and everything are, and the budget numbers are finalized. It's just there for fill-ins right now, as accurate as they've got them. And I believe that concludes everything. Through the chair, I believe I'm complete with this, and then I can move on to the proposed new budget language instructions.
You can continue.
So the proposed new budget language instructions. So back to page 5, I believe it was, number 11. We are changing the verbiage to read the county treasurer's statutory deadlines to make penal fine disbursements to the various library systems is August 1st. The office sends a report to the state that shows the penal fines, disbursements, as well as other disbursements made from local taxing authorities to municipalities. The office shall provide a copy of this report, including the calculated amounts of the penal fine disbursements for each municipality to the Committee on Ways and Means within 30 days of being submitted to the state. We have recommended new language from the AG's office. The Department of Management and Budget shall take measures to review and determine any outstanding obligations due from the Airport Authority for the pre-2002 airport retirees. We have recommended language from Commission Council. Number 3, the Facilities Management and Planning Department shall provide a detailed report on all county-owned, leased, and operated facilities locations. The report should include the A, property location, B, property ownership status, C, lease term if applicable, D, utilizing departments, divisions with allocated square footage for each division, E, associated operational and/or lease cost for each division, and F, source funds used by each division for use of the location. The report shall be submitted to the Committee on Public Services no later than January 15th, 2026 and July 15th, 2026. The report needs to be formally submitted through SideQuest/TCM. Did you want to add anything, Felicia? Okay. Number 4, the Facilities Management and Planning Department shall provide a detailed report that should include A, subcontractor costs, B, pricing, and C, CJC updates, including those that go through management companies. The report shall be submitted to the Committee on Public Services no later than February 1st, 2026 and August 1st, 2026. The report needs to be submitted through SideQuest/TCM. Recommend new language from the AG and Office of Fiscal Agency. Yes.
So and just so we're on the same page, I believe number 4 was related specifically to the CJC, right? And so when the commissioner approved the last amendment to the CJC, if you recall, they extended the authority of their management company. And the conversation at committee was that they had a bunch of subcontractors, but you never knew what subcontractors were coming and going, who did what. So when you approved that amendment in the resolution, there was a request that they keep the commission updated regarding the subcontractor and the subcontractor costs. So this just mimics what you had already requested of the department, but it's in this budget instruction language so we can easily keep track of it to make sure that you get that report. But this one was specifically related to the CJC project.
I remember that. And so want to just ask, have we received any reports yet? Have we started receiving any reports?
I don't believe that the time frame is.
Is it
yet.
has come yet? Okay, because we just, okay, that's fine. You can continue. Yeah, Ms. Carr.
Okay. Number 19, the Wayne County Detroit Community Development Entity via the Economic Development Department shall submit a report on the fiscal year 24-25 activity of the entity, including loans made by the entity. The department shall submit the report by December 1st, 2025 to the Committee on Economic Development. Through the chair, can we go back to the budget language instructions? There's one more I needed to make note of.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Page 22, item number 10, it's highlighted in yellow. We're adding including opiates data / Narcan data if it reduces death, suicide by gender, city, area within the county. We're adding that language in there too. If it. Jesus,
Okay, so Commissioner Baker McCormick.
I think that was supposed to also include race.
I will check and add it if it's
Okay.
there. Through the chair,
Yes,
I'm complete with my budget language instructions.
thank you. At this time, I will refer back to you. Mr. Adams, is there any?
Just to also add, so if you go through reports and a lot of the fiscal years are being added because either well, most of the time the report wasn't submitted the year before. So we're asking for more than one fiscal year. And a lot of reports have not been submitted, so we only go back 2 years because going back to fiscal year 1920 at this point probably wouldn't help us, but at least 2 fiscal years. So we're going to stay on top of under the new CFO, John Wallace. He's been trying to get a lot of these reports in. This past year was kind of rough with reports. We didn't get the budget instructions out until March, I believe, anyways, with the cyber attack. We lost our information. M&B lost a lot of information to even send us the ordinance to get this out. So hopefully this year we're back on track and the departments and elected officials will get us the reports on a timely manner. But we will be keeping all the chairs of all the committees updated on reports that have not been received and that are late.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Reporting of deficits for any departments, when the treasurer, not the treasurer, register of deeds came to us, is there a budget instruction for that reporting?
Those, yes, the quarterly reports that, go ahead, you can
Because
speak to that.
So
Yeah.
that's a yes question. I know lately we've been getting the quarterly reports, the regular quarter reports, more timely now than we had before. We went maybe 3 or 4 years without even getting a quarterly report. So we did have a meeting not that long ago with the CFO and his team, and we were going to start, at least if we get the quarterly reports in before we go back to, we used to have a ordinance where they reported any deficit monthly. But we want to start at least if we get the quarterly reports in more timely, then departments and elected officials will kind of know where they're standing at before we have to going back to that monthly deficit that was required. A lot of this past year we had payroll concerns with that's what a lot of departments didn't know where they stood with payroll because payroll wasn't inputted into JD Edwards for almost 6 months. So hopefully with Oracle, we've getting a lot of promises that things will get back on track, and departments, elected officials should know where they stand, at least with their personnel costs.
Thank you. Commissioner Maraki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I appreciate the communication that you're going to have with the chairs of the committee. As chairs of the committee, should we maybe just be putting these on our agenda, like on a regular basis, like keep track of it for the year and make sure they go on our agenda so that we make sure we get those reports? Would that help?
Well, we as the fiscal staff keep track of the ones that come in. So when there's reports that are late, we will provide that to the chairs. And then if you at that point want to put that on the agenda
Okay.
to make notice that, hey, these reports are past due, when can we see them?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Any additional questions? Madam Clerk? Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Commission Counsel.
So this is just a question. If you go back to page 16 in your pamphlet, in your book, there's a request for personnel to report on the staffing levels. And I don't know if the body wants this, so I'm just raising it as a question. Would this include, or should this include the number of contractors? Because we know that there are a lot of departments or divisions now that have been getting contracts to have individuals do work. And I'm wondering how that plays into the reports back to the body, and if you want that type of information somehow included. So, because this right now could read to just be the number of employees, but if they started out with 100, but they hire contractors and now they only got 50, the report would be 50 employees, but maybe never tell you about the 50 contractors.
And that definitely include that.
That's in here?
Is in there?
Here said, I missed it and it's in here.
Okay, so that's good.
It's in which one?
It asks for full-time, part-time, contract / consultant.
Oh, okay, so the contract.
the new, recommended new language.
Okay, no, they told me I'm not reading well, so it's in here. So if we go back to the one pager, there was a report that requested that facilities management give a detailed report regarding county-owned and leased facilities, which is something that came out of one of the committees. We have a separate budget instruction for the Guardian Building and First Street, but with regard to these county-owned facilities, do you want to know the occupancy rate as far as the county-owned facilities? Obviously not the leased ones, but we get the occupancy rate, I think, for the Guardian, which is a separate instruction, but for other county facilities that are owned, do you want to know like occupancy as far as square footage that's being used or not used within the building? Okay, so we'll then add that one to that.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Any other comments? Okay, Terrence, okay, Commissioner Clemente.
Just a question. So going back to the personnel, human resource. So we will get something that says this is full-time consultant, part-time consultant, full-time contract. So it will be, and then just plain full-time. It'll be listed out like that so that we know which one is a consultant that's here part-time, which one's a contract that's only part-time or
That-
full-time.
That's something we can add. Based on this, they probably will say full-time, part-time, or if they just a consultant, not whether they're full-time or part-time consultant. But if you want to know, the commission would like to know if the consultant is full or part-time, we can add that in here.
I'm just wondering, is that what you were looking for, Felicia? That making that suggestion, or?
I was moving too fast. I didn't even notice the word consultant. And so I think that word covers it. That way you'll get the actual employees of the county, then you'll get the actual contractors, and then you can compare the numbers as far as for each division, they have X amount of employees, but then they have X amount of contractors. And I assume this will also include vacancies potentially too. So you could see that they're budgeted for this. They have this many vacancies, this many people working, this many people are contractors. And then if you want to know the length of the contractors as far as full or part-time, or if, you know, this is a 2-year contract or they're permanent, I mean, that's something we probably could add in here too, if you want to know how long we'll keep these contractors. And then maybe even ask them, what's their plan to get rid of the contractors and get back to employees? I mean, whatever you want, we can put in here.
I think more transparency is better than less. So however it can be worded.
Okay, so we'll just ask for a little bit more detail with regards to this particular budget instruction, and we'll revise it accordingly.
Thank you. Commissioner Baker McCormick?
And to that point, I don't know if there's anything we can include that talks to, rather than contracting, but succession planning and um, training someone to do that position. I don't know what that looks like exactly, how we could word that, but yeah, I don't know. Is there something already addressing that?
Through the chair and the body, if you look on page 14, number 50, we can, there is a budget instruction that talks about succession plan, but we can modify this if there's something of greater detail that you would like to see in the report. But it addresses succession plan for at least senior appointee positions.
Um, and I'm not sure what it would look like, but I just think we need to do a little bit more than what we're doing to keep the institutional knowledge that someone else that's leaving, could leave us with. And I'm not really sure how if there's a training program of some kind that we can put together or show somehow that
That's the look of.
I don't know. That
So I know what you're speaking to. We can just encourage them because that's too far on the administrative side.
Right.
So we definitely, they can hear the conversations from the table, understand our intent. Or if there's some type of program that we may become aware of that the administration may not be aware of that help you to design, design that type of absolutely. Then we can have those type of discussions through GovOps or something like that. But I'm saying so. Other than that, I think that flushing that out, let's just leave that to the administration unless we have something that we want to propose. Yeah. What's your thought on that, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
I was wondering so it says a status report of progress of a succession plan for senior appointees positions. So I'm just wondering what that program looks like and if we can do more of that, not just for, I guess, the senior appointees, because like you said, this is just for senior appointees, but what about other positions that might be just as important? But I guess we can deal with that.
So
like you said, yeah.
Well, I was going to suggest through the chair that when we get at least the first report in around December, then the committee can review what was submitted and possibly give ideas of how they would like the report to look going further. Because these reports can always be modified or suggestions whenever we get something, and if it's not what the commission was looking for, then we can have the department or elected official modify for the next port, or if not, we make notes for the next year.
once you get it, then you can figure out exactly what,
that
give
looks
them
like.
instruction on what we expect a succession plan to look like, once we receive whatever they send us. Yeah.
And I'll think about it myself too, and maybe I'll come up with some added input on it. Thank you.
Well, Thank you. Any additional questions? Commissioner Peterson Mayberry.
Thank you. Through the chair, one question on page 48 as we're talking about lobbying. And so I appreciate the attempt for the transparency about where the information will live. What I have found with our website is sometimes things are embedded. So do we need to have a degree of specificity for where on the county's website, or is the expectation is that it'll be on the landing page?
No, that's an administrative piece there, but we can have in general discussion
Okay,
about what our, like I said, what we would like to see
Okay.
as the legislative body.
okay,
But putting this there, that's more of a execution.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
So we're talking about what the lobbyists that the county employs, what they're doing on behalf of the county and who's requesting them to do that.
So when they come here, we've had that discussion before because they've come a few times. Any of us when we have our committee of whole can have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, and give them our thoughts on certain, legislative things that we would like additional information on. Remember, we wanted those weekly reports. We got them because at first we wouldn't get them. So we can give them instructions. Yeah.
Right.
But we just need to, I guess coordinate how often they come before us and give us face-to-face reports so we can have that dialogue.
But we also have to have a committee of the whole meeting.
Okay,
And they're not going to do that.
no, we can talk to the chair. The chair,
Okay.
we leave it up to the chair. That's a prerogative based on what's going on and stuff. So we can always, as we know, suggest things go on the agenda with the committee of whole. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, but on another note, so the day-to-day instruction come from the executive branch on that. But when they are in front of us as a committee of whole, we say, wait, we need this additional information, that type of information. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, any additional questions, comments? Okay, Mr. Adams?
If there's no other questions, that concludes the review of budget instructions, and we will clean everything up and probably you just have one revised document. We're going to incorporate the ones on the one pager into the full document.
Thank you. So budget deliberation discussion, we'll move that one forward to Monday, because that'll be part of the broader discussion we'll take before we take final action. Technical amendments will now go to Madam Clerk. Is it necessary for you to read that into the record? Okay, thank you. Okay, technical amendments, we'll go to technical amendments, and at this time I recognize Mr. Adams, and do we call management budget?
So everyone should have a document dated September 23rd. Cover page says technical amendments 1 through 13. So these are a draft of the technical amendments that we've currently received from management and budget. There's going to be additional ones that are going to come in that will be discussed kind of. We're going to try to give them to the commissioners early as soon as possible, but they're going to be discussed on Monday for final approval out of Ways and Means, or pass out of Ways and Means. So I'm going to turn it over to our budget director, Mr. Philip Winfield, to kind of go over the budget instructions and what the administration would like to change.
Okay. Good afternoon, Philip Whitfield, Budget Director, Management and Budget. So you all have the document in front of you as far as the technical adjustments. These are what we have received so far from the departments requesting changes to the original CEO recommended budget. We'll go to the second page. I'll just hop right into it. Technical Amendment 1 to fiscal year 2025-2026 comprehensive budget and fiscal year 2024 projected budget. That's actually a correction that needs to be made. Like Lisa's draft. This technical adjustment is coming from the county clerk and is to add a clerical specialist as well as provide additional funding for overtime. The amendment will increase the appropriation by $465,033. And feel free as I'm going through these to stop me anytime if you have any questions on it. For technical amendment number 2, we have, and let me back up. So, and again, because I'm becoming familiar with this as well as everybody else. We have the actual amendment request, and then I have the actual breakdown as far as where that reallocation is going to be going. And so to the chair, do you want me to go through the detail, or you just want me to kind of summarize?
Summarize,
Okay, yeah.
summarize, and if they have any questions, or,
Technical amendment number 2 for the fiscal year 2025-2026 comprehensive budget. This amendment comes from the JYS department. And the purpose of this technical amendment is to reallocate funding for the youth intelligence specialist position number 16429 to the correct funding source. The position was initially charged to the incorrect account, and this correction is just a realignment to where the fund will actually be expensed. Technical amendment number 3. This one comes from the prosecuting attorney's office. And the purpose of this amendment is to certify Fund Balance 101 to fund for the Government Bar Association increases. The amendment increases the proposed appropriation by $1.5 million to ensure the sufficient budget authority to cover the negotiated salary increases. Technical amendment number 3. Moving on to technical amendment number 4. This amendment comes to you from the Circuit Court. And this is to recognize the state grant which funds the Circuit Court's Raise the Age program. So this is actually a correction, because when the original CEO recommended budget was submitted, it was erroneously included. So this is just removing it back out of that, because it shouldn't have been there, because that funding is ended. Technical amendment number 5. This amendment comes from the Economic Development Department, and it's to certify revenue sources and appropriation uses based on projected needs of the general fund. This one came into us at $403,000, and that would be an increase to the appropriation. Yes, ma'am.
no. Continue. Oh, no, question. Okay, Commissioner Maraki, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for
Sorry.
the question.
Yes.
So did we talk about this during budget? I mean, some of these I remember hearing about, but what exactly is this? Projected needs in the general fund.
I think they under projecting, so as they were going through, and this is something that we will address going forward, because when the original budget development meetings were held, the amounts that were projected by the departments weren't necessarily on point, is I guess the best way I'll put it. And so after reviewing what was included in the CEO recommended budget, some of the departments came back with additional requests, and that's where some of these are being generated from.
No, and I recognize some of
Yeah.
these, but I don't recognize economic development coming saying, "Oh, I need 400,000 more in my budget." That's what I'm just wondering how that. Could it be after they spoke to us and they realized?
Yes, yes, that has happened. A lot of times, they get the budget here. This happened previous years as well, where they make the proper adjustments and stuff as they're, talking it out and reviewing it after they've gotten into it. They see certain underestimations or various changes that they have. So that's why they bring it in as a technical amendment. Yeah.
Okay.
And to your point, Commissioner Maraki, one of the things we'll be doing going forward will be to, I guess, hold the departments harder to the line as far as what their actual projections are. Because from what I've noticed from me coming in, a lot of these came through that some weren't even presented at the table when they had the initial budget development conversations.
Yeah.
And so we'll make sure that those things are included
Okay.
and have a drop dead date for any revision. So we won't be in the 12th hour making these types of particular.
Okay. And well, at least it got in before we approved the budget, because sometimes we had them after the budget was
Right.
approved, and then there was some.
They go into another thing there, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. Yes, Commissioner Wilson.
Ain't why you too long, Martha. Turn the mic on. There we go. Yes, thank you, Chair Kenlock. Just a quick inquiry. Non-departmental. I know the Economic Development Department and Community Affairs and all that good stuff. What signifies non-departmental? Is that
Non-departmental are like you're aware, like the elected offices and the commission office and everything. Non-departmental are those funds, like say, for example, like the CARES funding or ARPA funding. Those would be like non-departmental funds. And
Okay.
so those are things that are not grouped in any individual department's budget. And so that's why we reference them as non-departmental.
so? The non-departmental. So it looks like, is this an increase of $403,554?
That is correct, sir.
So they didn't know about the non-departmental stuff before they sat down and started asking questions about and
Apparently not.
and so I can understand $40 or $50, but $500,000, somebody was not really counting at the time, I guess. I don't know, but
I actually agree with you.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
This
Okay,
time.
excuse
Yes,
me,
sir.
excuse me.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Messenger. Okay.
Through the chair, Commissioner Wilson, so non-departmental is not a particular department
Understand.
itself. It's a catch-all. It's a catch-all basically it's controlled by management and budget and administration. But within non-departmental, you have other funds as far as like your health fund, your liability fund, your workers' comp fund. So those are part of non-departmental. Now there's a general fund section of non-departmental, and that's kind of the fund where we collect our revenue sharing dollars, and then we have other expenses. So this 403 is a total appropriation increase. For non-departmental itself is this 201,000.
Okay.
And usually, which we'll have a question to management and budget, because usually in non-departmental, when they're trying to fund another fund, they will reduce the general fund of non-departmental and replace it with use of fund balance to open up general fund for another department. So I'm not quite for sure on this one. I know we're not going through the details of what the charges, fees, and fines is for this one, because it's doing a transfer out of a general fund section to a transfer in of a general fund section. Where usually, if they're trying to get additional revenue, they would just use general fund and reduce the non-departmental, which is the catch-all.
Okay.
As Director Winfield said, is where there's no true allocation to any particular department or elected official. Is this the catch-all fund, if
Okay.
you want to say? Well, the catch-all, it's not a fund itself, but catch-all
Okay.
section.
Thank you for that. So in essence, looks like the funding is being repurposed.
Correct.
Is that what we're saying?
Well, in
Being
this one,
repurposed to
I don't know, the
non-departmental.
non-departmental is collecting some type of charges for services,
Mhm.
which may be some type of internal chargeback within non-departmental
Okay.
to open up funds to go to economic
good, thanks.
development. But
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Chief Financial Officer. And thank you, Mr. Phillip.
Okay, thank you.
Do
You
we
can
have any
continue.
more questions on number 5? Seeing none, I'll move on. Technical amendment number 6. This amendment comes from the IDSD department, and it's a certified fund balance for Fund 101 in order to restore general fund general purpose dollars that were originally diverted to a new activity in 101-27002 as it was directed by the budget policy statement. So this is actually going to be a $4 million increase to the appropriation. It includes other financing that could be coming out of general fund, and then financing that will be going to the IDSD department in Fund 260. Technical amendment number 7. This amendment comes from management and budget. And this is a reallocation of the health insurance fund, Fund 676. This is just a reallocation to place the funds in the appropriate liability account. When the original budget was loaded, it was not in the correct account. So this is just a reallocation to the proper account. Technical amendment number 8 to fiscal year 2025-2026 comprehensive budget. This is a special projects reallocation. And so this amendment is actually doing two things. It is decertifying revenue and sources and appropriation uses in the amount of $29,586,854 and reallocating appropriation uses for the amount of $291,223. That will net into a reduction in fund revenue for the appropriation in Fund 499 of $29,295,631. And again, this is just a reallocation to the specific capital projects within 499.
Through the
Yeah,
Chair,
Mr. Adams.
just the Fund 499, that's a reminder for the commissioners, this is the opera dollars that were transferred over so it wouldn't have any restrictions before we had lost them. So I can only assume that there's a reduction because there's probably a cleanup which was done after the budget was submitted, where there must be projects that were completed and the funds have been spent. So when they probably did the budget, they were at a certain point and the dollars was there, so they just automatically put the dollars into the next budget. But probably from the time it was submitted to now, dollars must have been spent on various projects, so they're reducing the necessary budget for the next year. Now, which projects those are, obviously we don't know at the moment, but that's probably what's happening here with this budget technical amendment.
Commissioner Marecki.
Mr. Chair, didn't we have about 30 million? Somebody can refresh my memory, 30 million that wasn't actually allocated to certain projects yet.
Actually, I have Kamal from HHBS who can speak directly to what.
Kamal Keperu, Finance Director, Management and Budget for Health, Human and Veteran Service. I know a part of it is for the Will Wayne program.
Okay.
I know it was higher initially what we budgeted, but now we are budgeting closer to what we're actually going to spend. So I think in the proposed budget, it was like 20-some million, but we reduced it down to about 12
Okay.
for this
so
year.
What did HHS get originally from the ARPA money?
60 million.
60 million.
And right now, we spent about 9 million. So we got about 51 million left within that fund.
Okay. And that fund though has been, I mean, we've worked with it, that you don't have a deadline on that fund.
I can't speak to a deadline because once it was converted to general fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but we're
okay.
projecting out, and if you recall in your budget packet, we gave you all a 5-year projection on how we plan to spend the Will Wayne. So we just took it out 5 years.
All right. Thank you both. Thank you.
Now, that's just Will Wayne. On that part of the fund, I can't speak on the other part.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Phillips.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Technical amendment number 9. This also comes from management and budget. This amendment will actually this comes from the MEO's office. And so this will be to fund renovations, initially not including the department's original request. And so this amendment will increase the appropriation by $688,700.
Before you continue,
This morning.
is this the technical amendment that relates to the roofing contract?
I believe so, yes.
That we just.
So that's this one here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. But that roofing contract was 1.3 million. 1.2 million.
Maybe this is in addition to what's ever already allocated in the budget, I guess.
I can confirm that, but I believe it's just in addition to the original estimate, but I'll confirm.
I know they're planning on doing a lot of renovations over there.
I will follow with the commission. Technical amendment number 10. This amendment comes to us from the treasurer's office. And this amendment is requesting certifying funds in Fund 545. This request was originally omitted from the initial budget development hearings. And so it's now being added as a technical adjustment at this point. It will have a $400,000 impact on the appropriation. Technical amendment number 11. Technical amendment number 11 comes to us from the sheriff's office. This amendment it's reallocating funding for the acquisition of a horse trailer, as well as to fund electric bikes for the patrol unit. This amendment was not initially included with the department's original request, and so it now is being added at this time.
Yes, they had spoke, well, we do know about the horsey trailer.
Of course.
But and they also had spoke to me as it relates to the bikes. That would be part of the program that they have with the reserves. Yeah, thank you. No, they already have a program. Yep. So it'd be them as well as some of the officers as well. Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
Electric.
Electric bikes. Yep. 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 No, but I'm saying, but next year, but I'm just saying for the summer, you get them. Really? You got to have it in the budget for whenever you purchase it.
it'll be during this fiscal year.
All right,
Commissioner,
that's
so.
right. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, y'all, continue, Mr. Whitfield.
Technical amendment number 12. Technical amendment number
Right.
12 comes up to us from the Juvenile and Youth Services Department. It's certifying funds for the Global Visions Technologies and In-Service Training Licensing. This again was also not included in their original department request. This technical amendment increases the appropriation by $250,000. Technical amendment number 13. This technical amendment comes to us from HHVS. And this is to reallocate funds to cover expenses, also to move a position to Fund 221. This request was not included in the initial department request. However, this is really just a reallocation, and so this does not have any impact on the appropriation. And then we have at 13, that's it. Yep. Welcome. All right, this concludes what we received now. Through the chair, are there any other appropriation requests that you guys are aware of that we did not have on this list?
So those programs did meet with the administration this morning. Those programs, those amendments will be communicated to the management and budget appropriately from the right point of contact.
Okay.
As relates to bringing those forward by next Monday. So you also be getting some communication in short order to prepare those for Monday's meeting. And that would include the items from commissioners.
And that being said, that concludes my presentation of the current technical amendments.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Adams, does that conclude?
That concludes for now. The fiscal staff will be getting with management and budget, the director, on corrections to some of these technical amendments before they're officially submitted.
Okay, and so we're going to take the technical amendments as well as the budget. I'm going to entertain a motion to pass for the day. Motion to pass for the day.
Just D1. D1. Approve. D1's passed for the day.
Okay, so D1 D1 is passed for the day. So that's all the items listed under it. Yes. Okay, it's moved by Commissioner Baydun, supported by Commissioner Scott Anderson, Commissioner Anderson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? This item stands approved. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Chair, may we have a motion to approve items E1 and E2 under new business?
Okay, motion is in order, approved by Commissioner Baydun, supported by Commissioner Clemente. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? These items stand approved. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. Next item.
Item G, public comment.
At this time, I'd like to ask, is there anyone present in the room who would like to address this committee? Please take a seat and state your name and title for the record.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Seals.
And you have 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Dwayne Seals, Chief Deputy Clerk.
Yeah.
I just took a look at the technical adjustment. And I'm not for sure I've had a chance to talk with the Deputy Budget Director or the CFO yet, but I know that when the clerk was here, we had lost about $800,000 to $900,000 in overtime in our budget. I only see $465,000. So we're still short. And the concern is that, and this body, honorable body, you just mentioned how you're concerned about elected officials or department heads going over budget. And we're short $500,000. And in fact, the money that I mentioned, if you can go back 2, 3, 4 years, those are overtime dollars that are fixed that we have to pay. We have to run a court on a Saturday, Sunday, or holiday. Those individuals have to be paid. On the holidays, the court is still going on. Those individuals have to be paid. So there's a certain amount of overtime that we cannot change, that we need that overtime. I'm just concerned here with this $465,000. And in fact, this is some of the money here is actually for an employee was inadvertently left off our budget. We have 397 employees, but in the budget, it was only 396 employees. So we lost employee. In fact, that person's still sitting at their desk right now that's not funded. So if the money's in there, so we've only received extra $400,000. And I haven't spoken with the clerk because I just saw this TA. But as you hear, when she came before you, she had mentioned that we were close to almost $900,000 short in overtime.
Okay, so in regards to that, through public comment, we don't go back and forth, but what I'm going to do is instruct management and budget to contact, work with you since you're here. I guess you all can talk and work that out and bring some clarification to it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Madam Clerk, I would like for you to unmute everyone on Zoom, and I'd like to ask individuals joining us by Zoom and or by telephone, if you'd like to address this committee, please raise your hand or leave a comment in the comment section, and you too would also have 2 minutes to address this committee.
There are no hands on Zoom and no emails were received, and there's someone on the telephone.
Thank you. At this time, public comment is closed. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item H, adjournment.
Motion is moved by Scott, supported by Mareki. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, this meeting stands adjourned, and see you all on Monday. Yep.